This is a model of an unknown galleon from Northern Europe that dates from the 1590s. It is a votive ship model, built to be displayed in a church by suspending the vessel from the roof so that it appears to float in the air above the congregation, a practice known throughout Christian Europe. The model was probably built between 1590 and 1610, possibly in the Low Countries. Originally, it hung in Stockholm Cathedral. It is the oldest such ship model in Scandinavia. Votive ships were given as gifts by seamen, as a token of gratitude for a safe return from a hazardous voyage. It's a powerful reminder of how dangerous seafaring was, how safety was once secured by faith alone. With a ship on display in such a striking manner, it was much more difficult to ignore the plight of seafarers. The model's dimensions are slightly out of proportion from how the actual ship would have appeared, because it was designed to be viewed from below. The shape of the hull has been unrealistically reduced. Nonetheless, it is strongly suggestive of the design features that made galleons one of the most significant innovations in maritime history. What made the galleon stand out from its predecessor, the carrack, was the comparatively longer and narrower lines of her hull. Together with the lowering of the carrack's forecastle, galleons were more stable, maneuverable, and faster, which made them more versatile. They were used for both trade and war and became the prototype of the purpose-built, broadside-armed warship that dominated maritime history for the next 300 years and changed the world. The hull is lavishly decorated with miniature portraits. Among these figures are monks, gentlemen, a merchant, a sad-looking fellow with a big nose, a black chorister. Set above them and towards the stern, we see several women, a harp-playing lady, another looking at herself in a mirror, and one with an exotic bird perched on her hand. The painted decorations include grapevines, pillars, roaring lions, and mythical creatures. Here we have griffins, which were half eagle and half lion, and also basilisks, a type of legendary serpent. It's all a bit Harry Potter, but the depiction of basilisks is particularly interesting, as they were used as a symbol of Protestant heresy during the religious wars of this period that grew out of the Reformation and ravaged Northern Europe. The model has been badly damaged over the centuries. The distinctive rig of the galleon, its masts and bowsprit are all missing. All that is left are sad, broken stumps. We know, however, exactly how the rig would have appeared. She would have had 4 masts. The foremost 2 would have been rigged with square sails hanging from 3 yards at right angles to the hull. The aftmost 2 would have been quite different, rigged with triangular sails set in line with the hull. This hybrid rig combined the power of the traditional cargo vessel's square sails with the ease of handling of smaller vessels rigged fore and aft. The beakhead is also missing, a key design feature of a galleon which would have suspended out from the bow, allowing the sailors to work the sails above. The quarter galleries are also missing. There would have been a lavishly decorated balcony, from where the officer could view the world through which they travelled in comfort and style. The ship's rudder is missing. This would have been attached to the stern post with hinge-like fittings known as gudgeons and pintles. It would have been operated using a tiller extending into the ship. This would be moved by a helmsman using a vertical lever, known as a whipstaff. But the helmsman would be below deck with no view of the sails or sea. He steered in response to orders from an officer above. The model has gun ports through which cannon once protruded. It's noticeable how close they would have been to the waterline, a major problem for ship designers in this period. To have the guns too high and the vessel would threaten its stability, but to have them too low would risk water pouring in. The problem was not really solved for 200 more years when adequate mathematics were developed to improve ship design. A reconstruction of how the original model might have looked was built in the ship model workshop of the Swedish National Maritime Museum in the 1950s and is now on display in Stockholm Cathedral, suspended in the air in its rightful place above the heads of a wondering congregation.